Nobody has zoned out the Southeast. I don't think. Because if you're going to be talking about the Southeast, then talk about the pains of ordinary Southeasterners. Southeasterners, just like every other Nigerians, buy bread at 1,000 naira a loaf. Southeasterners buy their bags of rice at you know how much a bag. Southeasterners queue to buy petrol like their counterparts everywhere in Nigeria. Southeasterners don't pluck dollar from the tree to import their goods. They have to strive like every other Nigerian. These are the issues. We don't have a port in the Southeast. These are the issues. There is insecurity everywhere, even more so in the Southeast. These are the issues affecting everyday person. We don't have, there are a lot of toll gates, not toll gates now, there are a lot of collection points between the time you clear your goods at the wharf and then before it enters the Southeast. These are the issues. These are the issues that should be discussed, not who gets what. Even if you make a Southeasterner the president of the Senate and then make the Southeasterner the Speaker of the National Assembly and then make the Southeasterner the Deputy Senate President and make the Southeasterner, what is it, what material benefits will accrue on the account of that to the ordinary Southeasterner? None. Take a look at the Northwest. That zone has consistently, without fail, produced the president of Nigeria. Now look at poverty rate in the Northwest and compare it to other regions in Nigeria. Look at the insecurity. Even in Buhari's home state of Katsina, where he comes from, his people cannot go to bed with two eyes closed, and they have produced the president. Look at the illiteracy, adult illiteracy rate in the Northwest. Look at the child dropout rate in the Northwest. Look at infant mortality, maternal mortality. Just go and look at the mixed survey and see how the ordinary Northwesterner has fared under Buhari's presidency. So there is no guarantee that if you make a Southeasterner the Senate president or whatever, that the lives of ordinary Southeasterners will take a leap. What we are going to focus on at every point of the discussion is what are the sensible policies and programs that will lift and that will add meaning to the lives of everyday Southeasterners and indeed the lives of everyday Nigerians. Leave the political discussion of who gets what. That is not to be discussed. If we're going to discuss it at that level, because we are discussing the 2023 election, then it's only fair to discuss that at the presidential level, where the Southeast presented the most credible candidate, the most acceptable candidate, and if you take it further, it might even be that that is the candidate Nigerians voted for. Unfortunately, INEC happened. And so today the focus should be on how do we reclaim that mandate and not how are these, pardon my language, these beggars begging for positions to line their own pockets. They have been in the Senate for how many years? Orji Uzor Kalu had been a governor for 8 years. He had been a senator. Look at his utterances. Where was he on Electoral Act amendment? This is the same Orji Uzor Kalu that told us that they cannot amend the Electoral Act because his community does not have network. But now his community has network to make him Senate president. But when we are talking about redesigning the election management system, he opened his mouth to say that his community does not have network, therefore that they shouldn't be online voting and online transmission. Those arguments, his records are still there. Today he's claiming to be a Southeasterner. He is not a Southeasterner. Where was Orji Uzor Kalu when kidnappers were kidnapping people, including the prelate of Methodist Church in his home state? What did he do about the insecurity in Abia State? Where is Orji Uzor Kalu on the absence of federal leadership in the Southeast? Where is Orji Uzor Kalu on developing a seaport in Orashi and then in the other river? Where is Orji Uzor Kalu in developing independent power plants that will power up the Southeast for the next phase of industrialization and then an AI-enabled economy, tech-enabled economy? Where is Orji Uzor Kalu on these critical issues? Where was Orji Uzor Kalu on elections? And today, Orji Uzor Kalu has remembered that he's a Southeasterner. You see the way politicians manufacture these identities on national issues that affect the everyday Southeasterner. He's not a Southeasterner. When people are being kidnapped, you won't hear his voice. When unknown gunmen are beheading people everywhere, you won't hear his voice. But now that he wants to get the Senate presidency, he has automatically become a Southeasterner. He's not a Southeasterner. He's no more of a Southeasterner than the person who is, listening to us from Upon Navy today, whose business is crumbling under the weight of the heavy oppression that has become the APC government, whose businesses are suffering. These are people who can no longer send their kids to school. These are the real Southeasterners, not politicians who are merely jostling for political office and how to line their pockets the more. If after looting Abia State, because he has cases, I can say that authoritatively because he has cases to answer with EFCC. In fact, he had been jailed. He's an ex-convict. He is just walking around on technicalities. If after looting Abia State for 8 years, After misrepresenting his senatorial zone for several years in the Senate, he's now coming back to misrepresent us the more by claiming that he's a Southeasterner. He is not a Southeasterner more than myself. He's not a Southeasterner more than you. And he's not a Southeasterner more than everybody. So if he wants to run for political office, he should go well and campaign for his party to elect him. Let him not use Southeast for anything. We are not with him on this. We have voted the way we voted. I'm even surprised that he even won his election in his home place. But let's leave it at that.